During the 16 Days of Action 2022 campaign,
Gosa Girls on Fire and Tech Shack Tactical TV interview ordinary but outstanding women.
Hashtag I am every woman.
In our interviews, we honor outstanding businesswomen who have made a difference in their specific sphere of society to ladies who have overcome horrific gender-based violence incidences.
We believe in action, not activism.
Why are women continually cast as helpless victims?
Bystanders to their own fate, presuming that victimhood is a fait accompli. We are not simply deer in the headlights of gender-based violence.
We can and will stand up for ourselves.
We are not second-class citizens who need special days and men standing up for us.
We say no more.
Activism does not change the minds of predators.
Predators will always be predators, waiting in the dark to claim their victims. Standing on street corners with placards saying that we are against gender-based violence has and never alone make a difference. Take action now, not to be a victim, and be a strong woman. Do not put your trust in anybody else except yourself. Take the example from the strong women in these interviews and be a warrior. Hashtag victim no longer.
Lynette Oxley here for Tech Shack Tactical TV and Gosa Girls on Fire, 16 Days of Action for No Violence Against Women and Children. I'm here with the beautiful Khanyisile Mdluli. Hope I'm saying that correctly. We met at the Boss Lady that was organized by Kia earlier this year.
Yes.
She's an impressive lady. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Lynette. I am Khanyisile Mdluli Nkosi.
Nkosi?
Yes. So Mdluli is my birth surname, but I'm married now to Nkosi. And yeah, I met this lovely lady who was packing at the event. Still want to learn how to do that.
We're definitely going to go that way.
Yes, so yeah, thank you for inviting me here.
You basically, we're talking to you from two sides. You've got a hell of an impressive CV, academically and otherwise. On the other side, you've also been a GBV survivor. So we're talking to you from both sides. Let's start with, who is Khanyisile?
Okay, so at this point in time, I'm married to a lovely man that I've been with for 11 years after having gone through all the drama that I went through. And it's quite refreshing to be with someone who respects women at the level that my husband actually does. I'm a mother of 3 boys.
3 boys?
Yes.
Shame.
Yeah, the last one is 13, so I'm dealing with teenagers. And I'm a businesswoman, yes, director of my own law firm. And as you've seen from my CV, I've actually, my career has transformed.
From retail to being a lawyer of your own law firm.
Yes, so I've always wanted to be an attorney, but for some reason, and climbing the corporate ladder and always wanting to find something else that is exciting to do, I just didn't get it done. But it's something that I told myself that I will achieve it by the time I'm 40, and then I'll pursue it. And yes, it was done. Look at me now. And in terms of being a strong woman, yes, I was born strong. I believe it's not a facade. It's, we always like to say, don't be strong. Don't put up that front. I believe that some people are born strong. I'm strong. Am I soft? Yes, somewhere on the inside, just like an egg. Hard on the outside, soft on the inside. But at the same time, I've become stronger because of my journey and what I've been through in terms of my relationship, also what I've been through in terms of my career. And perhaps it explains why I could also change careers so many times. It's that strength and that drive and feeling uncomfortable in this space and wanting to move to the next space where there's comfort and trying to find that peaceful space. And can I say I'm in it now? Yes, I'm in that peaceful space. Things are falling into place quite nicely, though it's taking time. But strange I will say this, but I learned a lot from the relationships I was in that didn't work out, that ended how they did. And at the same time, I'm grateful because these days, GBV is not just GBV. Femicide is big. So it doesn't end up with you being slapped. In the past, before the Domestic Violence Act, it was normal in households that husbands beat their wives and the police don't know what to do, and oh no, but he's your boyfriend, you love him, go and talk to him. And so the act had to come into place because obviously it was a serious issue.
It's a serious issue. I had a chat to Gerard a couple of months ago, Gerard Labuskachny, he's the profiler, and his advice to women, he says, it's get out. He says you're not going to change that man, you're never going to change that man, and your chances of ending up dead is good.
Absolutely.
I agree. And that is the end. He says very, very seldom do you actually get out alive out of that situation.
Yes.
So what happened with your previous marriages? And how did you find yourself as a strong woman caught up in this?
Yeah, so coming back to what Gerald said, I was thinking about it on my way here, that when I look back at my first marriage and my first husband, I mean, I loved him dearly. He was just 5 years older than me. We were both in our 20s. And he was perfect. I mean, you know, what every girl wants.
Yeah.
Yes. He looked good. We looked good together. And, you know, your romantic guy that makes you breakfast in bed, runs your bath, is always with you, looks good, doesn't squander his salary. It wasn't a lot. I mean, but he brought it all home and said, you know, what do you need us to do? And when we were out, I mean, picture perfect. You know what you see on Instagram, and
that's just it.
And you're like, oh, I want this for myself. Except then we'd go home and things would be different because he was jealous. At the same time, I thought, no, he's young. He's insecure. We are both young. If we spend a couple of years together, he will see that actually I love him. You know, it starts with being
little
slapped.
Things. Yeah, little things, and then it gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yes, like why are you going out without me? Because I want to be with you. But it's that kind of obsession that is just crazy. I used to go everywhere with my husband. Never left him. I loved him. I enjoyed his company. But think of this weird picture. You're in your 20s, early 20s. You're young. All your friends are in their 20s. You went to high school together. You're going for a girls' night out, but you, on the other hand, are here with your husband or your boyfriend, and he's just going to sit there and listen to all these stories. And you know how girls can just carry on and on and on. And we did things when we were in high school. A girl will tell a story. Some of us were not yet married, others were married, others were still trying to find themselves, and they meet a guy and they move in, and then the relationship is over in 2 months. They come back and tell the story. Meanwhile, he's listening to everything and taking it all in and personalizing it and making it about us. And after all this perfection, we get home, and before we even get into the house, I'm being slapped because, oh, so you also did this because Lynette said, and this one said, and I'm not a fighter. I mean, look at my hands. I'm not a fighter. I mean, it would shock me that, so you were there, I brought you along, you're listening to these stories, and
it's not my story.
Yeah, what has it got to do with me? And we're all telling stories from when we were young. How about next time you don't come along? But you see, he's going to come along next time because now he's worried about the stories he's not going to hear. So he has to come along. And
it becomes an obsession in his mind.
It's extremely. My first husband was so obsessed that at some point, I think he stopped working. And I didn't know. I know that he had signed up to become an estate agent, but he wasn't estate agenting during the day because he was always around my office where I worked.
Okay. So
I was in corporate. Receptionist would say, oh, you know, if you keep this husband of yours here the whole day, every day, I'm going to take him. I'm like, I don't know. What husband? Where's my husband?
Yeah.
No, but he was here. Sometimes I'd get flowers and he'd deliver flowers to my work, and I'd be like, oh, okay, so today I got flowers, and I'm thinking, you know, your net florist or whoever has delivered the flowers. Meanwhile, he delivered them personally, and later I discovered that he was actually there. He came personally. He even sat by reception, said, no, don't call her, it's fine, but he was just there to monitor whether I'm going to leave the office or not. And he'd call me and sit on the phone for hours. And I'd tell him, okay, I'm doing a report. I'm in my office, I'm doing a report. But we'd stay on the phone for hours on end. I had a colleague who used to say, one day he's going to put these flowers on your grave.
Sure, that is also quite powerful.
Yay. And it used to hit me hard that he says that. I used to think that. But at the same time, I still had this hope that he's young, man. He's
going to change.
He's young. He's going to change. He's going to be more comfortable. Maybe he started a business. I remember when his business picks up, he's not going to worry that I'm climbing the corporate ladder and everything will be fine. It got worse because people started knowing that he would say it up front, that, or out loud in front of everyone, that, oh, I'm gonna kill you and eat your heart.
That is also because one of the other discussions I've had, the guy actually sold this lady's heart afterwards after he killed her. So yes, so that just reminded me, that's not a very nice image. Let's put it that way. Not a nice image.
But Len,
that is in his mind.
Yes.
It's something that he's thinking about.
But I think at that time I never thought of it being literal. Like, are you seriously gonna kill someone and cut their heart out? I didn't see it like that. I think I was in love with him. I was in love with him.
Colored glasses, I think.
Yes, and he was a nice person. None of this made sense. I didn't understand where this extreme jealousy comes from, because he was, like I said, perfect in every other way. Who wouldn't want this from a man? This guy,
and that's what he portrayed to the outside world as well. Mm-hmm. So everybody's saying, "Oh, Khanyisile's got such a lovely husband."
Yes, and because I'm so loud. I've always been loud in the life of the party, and he was quieter and nicer, and so automatically everyone thinks it's me. What did you do to him?
Exactly, that's the question.
Because he's sitting there.
He must have done something.
Yes, he said, I learned years later when my friends actually got to find out about everything that has transpired, that they actually admitted and said, he would come to every single event, and we all thought it was you. We were like, gosh, can this woman leave the poor man alone? Let him go and be with the guys. None of us actually thought it was him, because he was just quiet. He never said anything. He never fought with anyone. He would just sit there patiently and wait for you.
Which is quite scary in itself. Very scary in itself.
How are you going to sit in the car for 6-7 hours, or just sit? If we're in the house, you're sitting there by the lounge, we're in the sitting room, and you're just sitting there by yourself, waiting. It doesn't make sense. And they understood, and it also shocked me that how was this about me? How did this even make sense to them? I'm an only child, by the way. So I love my space. I love my freedom. I'm used to my space and my freedom. And now I have somebody that's coming along 24/7. Why would you think that I'm okay with that? Yeah. I'm just doing that to accommodate him. And the final straw, so before we get to the final straw, he would beat me and slap me and everything. And then when I'm upset, I decide to go home, then he'll drink something and he'll say he's killing himself. So I also didn't want that.
Methods of controlling you.
Because we were young, I still thought, why kill yourself? You can fix this, man. Just why are you doing that? And I never, to tell the truth, every time I left him when I'm upset, I wasn't leaving to leave him. No, I was just leaving him so that he misses me and he stops doing what he's doing. You know what's interesting? He would follow me to my parents' house and come be at my parents' house with me. Meanwhile, I haven't told them anything. I haven't told them why I'm home, because I'm an only child. Do I really want my parents to be stressing about me and having sleepless nights about their little girl, who will always be that little girl? No, they know I'm strong. I can handle everything, and this is me handling things. And then one day he woke me up early hours of the morning and he wanted to stab me. Yeah.
What do you think brought him to that point? Is there any explanation?
No, he was always at that point, obviously, because he was used to getting away with things. He was finding things. He was angry at something or someone. I have no idea. And perhaps something about me also just triggered whatever that problem is.
I think
that
it's got nothing to do with you.
Look, on the other hand, I also think that sometimes we're not compatible with people. We press the wrong buttons, they press our buttons. Perhaps just me being me, I just sat on that button that reminded him of this problem that he had. And obviously, there's nothing that I can do. It is the nature of me that triggers that in him.
I understand what you mean.
Which means it's not my fault. I should just not be with this person, yet...
So, but he didn't stab you?
He did. So I was sleeping, I was lying on the bed. We had a small baby who was sleeping in the cot, and he woke me up. He was on top of me, and he said, I saw on your phone, this was back in 2007, 2008, and he had looked through my phone. There was a private number that had called me during the day when I had been with him the whole day, and he always had analogies like, your body was there with me, but your mind was on the other side.
Somewhere else, okay.
So he said something like that, and I mean, it was like early hours of the morning, past 1 or so. We'd watched movies, we'd had a couple of glasses of wine. I was even surprised that he's awake. Why even going through my phone? And then I saw the knife. So when he tried to stab me, I turned and it cut me on the side. And he didn't expect that. I don't know if he was scaring me or what. He didn't expect that. And we lived in a small complex. So unfortunately, I couldn't protect him or do anything. He stabbed me, he cut me. I mean, so I screamed. And because it's a small complex, the neighbors came and they knocked and they called the police and everything. And it wasn't a huge cut because, remember, I turned. He was like on my waist and I turned, so it cut me here. And it opened and blood was everywhere. So I think when he saw the sight of blood, he couldn't believe it. I think he sobered up. And I got up from the bed. I went to open the door because the neighbors were knocking, the security had come, and he went to fetch the baby. He was carrying the baby, like he was protecting himself with the baby. So the police came, there was blood everywhere. I could see that it was wide open. It didn't go into the bone, thank God. I mean, maybe everyone should be as fresh as me because lots of meat to cut through. So there was blood everywhere, and the paramedics came and the police came. They started talking to him. I called my mom. She said she's on her way. And then he disappeared. When the police were talking to us and talking to him, and I was trying to explain what had happened, and he had my baby and stuff was just happening. He disappeared.
With the baby?
Yeah, he left. He just left, and I think someone there said no. He said he's going to kill himself. So we were not far from the freeway, you know, the bridge that crosses the freeway. And I thought, he'd always said something about jumping off of that bridge. So I thought, wow, if he's not here, this guy's going to kill himself with my baby. I can't allow such a thing to happen. And so the police went to find him. We went into the car. They patched me. And we went to get into the car to go find him. Actually, they found him. They
Not on the bridge?
On the bridge.
On the bridge. Oh, my goodness.
He had gotten in his car and he went to the bridge. They found him there. They tried to talk to him. But I was like, just take the baby. I'm just tired. Take the baby, let him jump. He wants to jump. Let him jump. I think maybe it's about time. Let me admit again, I left. But I wasn't leaving for good. I still thought he'll go for counseling. He's going to go, and I sincerely believe that he had a problem that he needs to attend to and fix.
And it's going to get better.
I went to apply for a protection order against him, but he started stalking me then.
Oh, that is the behavior right in the beginning was already stalking.
Yes.
During right in the beginning.
Yes.
What you were talking about is stalking.
Yes. He started stalking me, and load shedding I think started around that time, because I remember one day coming from work and at my mother's house, and the lights just went off, so our garage door used the remote. Now it meant I had to park the car outside
and
go inside to try and put it to manual and
exactly.
open. So just after I parked the car outside, just like I parked here, this car came out of nowhere, and it was him. and he made some threats and everything, and it was dark. My dad was alone in the house because my mom worked night shift, and I thought, I don't want to see him. So I asked, what do you want? He said, you must come with me. I said, fine. I'd already started seeing someone else because my relationship with him was done. I was like, no, not anymore, not going back. I have my protection order, and if you come near me, you're going to be arrested. It's done and dusted. And I knew that I had an appointment with the guy that I was dating to come and pick me up to go out. And this one was now here. So, and I know that he's going to pick a fight. So here's these thoughts going through my mind. How do I call this one and tell him don't come because I'm not available at the moment? And just as I got into the car, he was rushing me to get into the car. Get your things, get in the car and stuff. So he must have seen, I think for some time he was stalking me and he knew that I was seeing this other person. And so he came around and I was in the car and he drove off quickly, and this guy followed us because he also knows the car. And I was also surprised, like, how does this one know that one? And maybe some confrontation had happened at some point that I wasn't even aware of. And we drove off. As we were driving off, he was driving like mad, crazy in a residential area. And he said, I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to kill that guy. You know, and I got a gun, some illegal firearm from the hostel. He's gone to see the people and stuff. And I'm like, just calm down. I'm going. You said I must come with you. I'm coming with you. So just forget about this guy. But he now started chasing us, and it became quite a big thing. And then as he was hitting me as he was driving, he was saying, now you're seeing someone else, you've ruined my life, you've got a protection order against me, now I'm going to have a criminal record. And he was telling me all of these things, and I'm like, just stay away from me, you won't have a criminal record. Don't come where I work, don't call me, don't do any of this nonsense. Then you won't have a protection order, is not a criminal record. So just, and he carried on, he was hitting me, and we drove past some mall. It was late. It got late because it was after 8, going for 9 p.m. And then we saw this police van. I saw the police van. It was approaching us, and I thought, I need to give them a sign. Like, something has to happen here because I'm not going anywhere with this mad person. And the car chase had gone on so much that we'd lost the other guy, so I don't know where he was. So I literally, as we were approaching the robots, and there was a car in front of us, I pulled the door open and I threw myself outside. And the police were approaching and they had to stop because I was on the road.
Yeah.
And the cars behind us had to stop. And he left. He disappeared. So the police came to me and, you know, they helped me. They said, where are you going? They took me home. I had bruises and scars. I've got pictures here to show. It was just, he pulled my hair. It was just a mess. Now I had to go back home and go and tell my dad, because I said to them, no, before we go to the police station, let's go past my house, because my dad heard my car. He heard me trying to open the garage door. Now he doesn't know what happened to me. Didn't even greet him or anything, you know. I didn't even call him to come outside to open for me. So we went home only to find that the other guy now had gone to my dad to say, look, this is what happened. I don't know where she is. And so my dad was a very quiet man, and he was like, I wasn't even aware of any of these things that are happening. I didn't know that he's stalking her and all of that. So then I went to the clinic and I got attended to for the scars, and that was the end. Went with the police, got him locked up for a day or so, told them to let him go, still told them to let him go.
And nothing happened because actually that's grievous bodily harm, the previous,
and this as well. You know,
absolutely.
I dropped
and that's kidnapping as well.
Look, he was just going to go to jail, and I felt that I wanted to give him a chance to be okay for himself and for the next person he's going to be with, and not be in jail. It was never my intention.
Yeah, but you've been denying it and denying it and denying it.
I know. So I let it go. I let him go, and I said, no, sorry, we went to court. I said, no, I'm dropping the charges, but he must just stay away from me. Make sure you stay as far away from me as possible. And so he said, no, if that is the case, then he also doesn't want anything to do with my son. I said, no, it's fine. I mean, decidedly, I'm always going to have a better job than you. So I'll be able to take care of my son at the rate that you're going. I don't see your business picking up. I don't see you getting the support, because he was also negligent. I had to literally support him with everything. Otherwise, he's not going to be able to do it by himself, even though it's his ideas. So that's how I survived that one. And he did stay away. He stayed away. But I was either depressed and didn't know that I'm depressed, but I went through a tough time in that I started working almost 24 hours a day. You know, I just focused on work so much that I didn't leave room for myself to do anything.
You had control over your work. It's something that you could control.
Thank you.
You didn't have control previously.
Absolutely. Until one time I went to see my doctor and he said, "You're not okay, you need to take a break."
This is going to have to stop now.
Yeah, stop now. And he arranged for me to see someone, a psychologist or a psychiatrist, for mental examination and stuff, because he said it's not healthy. You can't. Your parents are complaining that you're always working. You're working hard, you're partying hard. I was just constantly on the move. And obviously I just didn't want to deal with what was happening. And so I went to hospital. I stayed for 7 days, and then they let me go after 7 days. And I went back to work. I filed for divorce. I told him about it. He said he's not going to come on the day of the divorce. I did something that's very strange. I went to visit him. I spent the night with him, and I told him tomorrow we're getting the divorce, so we're going to wake up together to go and just get this divorce. In the morning he said no, he's not going. They won't grant the divorce because he's not going to be there. I mean, how silly. I said, well, I'll bring you your divorce decree. So I left that morning, I went and got divorced and never looked back. But what he did that day, I woke up in the morning, started my car, and just as I was about to turn the corner from his house, my car gave me a warning, engine warning. And so I pulled up at the garage, which is less than a kilometer away from the house. The guy checked it and he said, "There's sugar in your engine." So he poured sugar in my oil tank. I couldn't use the car. I called him immediately. I said, "Dude," he was sleeping when I left, "why did you put sugar in my car?" And he just laughed it off. He was like, you know. Yeah. Then I said, "No, it's fine. I guess I deserve it. I shouldn't have come there anyway. And in any event, it's done. We are done. But just know that what you intended to happen didn't." Because you know what happens when there's sugar in the engine is going to seize up in the middle of you driving, and then your car is going to overturn, and then you're done. So that didn't happen, but it was a big lesson for me. And what I think women must learn from that is, like what has been said before, as perfect as he may appear to be, and as good as it might feel to be with this person in every other way, from the onset, when he starts, you just stop.
Yeah.
Because it will never change.
No, it won't change.
You must leave today, not next week, not next month, because it gets harder. It gets harder to tell your side of the story. That's why people start questioning you. What did you do? But since when? He's so good.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you know that it doesn't feel good for you to be stalked today. You realize that he's stalking you, or to be slapped today. Don't try and justify it and say, "What did I do? What happened?" Let's assume if I'd sworn at him the first time, does that mean it's okay that he slapped me? He should have sworn at me back or walked away, you know. You just don't. A man that beats a woman is always going to beat you up.
Not going to change.
Always. There's nothing that's going to force him to change. And you're not the one who's going to force him to change.
That's, as I said previously, you're not going to change the person. It's not going to change. So that whole long story and another marriage, and we will definitely have a follow-up interview. What are you doing now for gender-based violence in your day-to-day life?
Great. So I help. I speak at events where I tell my story, or particularly speak on issues affecting women and how they can identify GBV, and particularly how do they deal with it once it's there, legally, and in terms of how they deal with the police and get the help that they need. I've recently started an NPO. It's a couple of months. I'm trying to get it registered with DSD.
What's it called?
Inkosi Khanyisile.
Nkosi Khanyisile.
Yes, because I'm married to Nkosi.
Nkosi and Khanyisile is your name. Got it?
So, loosely translated, it means the Lord has brought light.
I know Khanyisile means light.
Yes.
And Khanyi or something means the light.
Yes, and Nkosi is the Lord. So the Lord has brought light. And what I intend to do with that particular organization is to set up help clinics. I want to call them support clinics in various shopping centers by getting containers like the one that I saw on the other side. Mobile containers that will be like your clinic and your go-to place, because the challenge now is that people say, where do I go? When I go to the police station, who's going to help me? When I go to the court, I don't get the support. But what I intend to do with that is, because legally I have the know-how, I've got the forms, I've got everything, is that they can come there and get all the help that they need, be it completing the form for your protection order, making sure that everything is there, getting the affidavits that you need to attach to it, being able to complete that J188. I want to put together all the service providers that can provide support in terms of your counseling, your doctors, which doctor you go to when you are in this particular area.
Some doctors might not be able to help you or don't want to help you, or is not good with people that's been through abuse.
Exactly, and also because people must pay to go to a doctor to examine them and complete that J188. But if we get proper funding and we get these service providers, then they know that this is covered. You know, you're going there, there's going to be a dedicated person who will help you, and also be able to give them support in terms of, some people say, where am I going to go, or how am I even going to leave this place? I don't know how to take my things from there and go to my mother's. I don't have anyone else to talk to. The whole idea is to do it within the communities so that the community also gets involved, and we have people that are there that can actually support and know that this person is going through something like this, and we have regular support groups from people that have been through something like that, that you know, okay, I'm a single mother, I don't know what I'm going to do with the children. There's also other factors that come into it. How are my children going to be taken care of? If they come to this,
the financial aspect, which I talked to one of the, it's very difficult. Another thing that I've seen is educationally, some people might not be able to fill in the J88 form.
Yes, yes.
And the legal system, they do not understand how the legal system works, and it's actually a big enemy for them.
Yes, actually, I find that quite a lot, because now I must complete a form. Yeah, I don't even know where am I going to start, and sometimes also telling your story. I feel that if we have these clinics and we recruit people to provide support that have actually been through something like this, that can actually speak the language of that person within the community and help them at their level, that's where it will make a difference. Because yes, fair enough, a person can come to me and try and talk to me, but maybe they don't relate to my story. Maybe they don't feel as comfortable with me as they would if there was someone within their community that they're going to look at and say, oh, Lynn, you also went through the same thing. Oh my God.
And you never know that. I've actually known people for many years and never know their story until one day it comes out.
Yes, and also the education part of it. My intention is with the NPO to actually have these community dialogues and awareness programs that we just go and teach people about abuse. People don't know that financial abuse is abuse.
It's a big abuse, and
they don't know.
No, absolutely.
You know, he's my husband, but he does absolutely nothing. Goes and squanders his money. He goes and drinks. They don't know they don't know that with your protection order, you can actually apply that this person continues to pay your rent and supports the children. So with this center, my idea is within the communities, as it grows, then we help them apply for maintenance. If you want to get a divorce, they say, I don't have money to get a divorce. Chances are you don't need money to get a divorce. You just need to pay for the sheriff. Is there an attorney who's going to help you with the paperwork? Yes, I am the attorney who will help you with the paperwork. And if we have funding, what we need is to go and pay for the sheriff, because you've started the divorce proceedings. You need to apply for maintenance. There's a process. Let's do the forms for you. Let's go and do the application for you. And then you know that there's these people that can talk to you. What is killing us as women is the secrecy. You know, no one wants to accept that this is happening to you. And
absolutely.
you also don't want anyone to know that this is happening to you, because we personalize it. All of a sudden, my husband beats me up, it's my shame. No, it's not my shame.
No, it's not. I want you to keep me updated as soon as you've actually got everything registered and off the ground, and we'll do another interview on that.
Yes.
Last thing, can you please give us a message for the ladies out there, the 16 days of action?
Yes, ladies, take action. Take your power back. Love is beautiful, but when love is beautiful, it doesn't hurt in any way whatsoever. Do not allow him to get away with that first incident, because that's where it starts.
That's where it starts.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Liz.
Awesome. It was awesome speaking to you. Let me give you a hug.
Thank you.
It was awesome. Thank you very much.
I'm a girl on fire. I'm not a victim. A girl on fire. I'll stand my ground. Girl on fire. I've made a choice. I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. I'm a mother, a daughter, a sister, a friend. I'm every woman. I have taken up arms and I choose to defend all that I hold dear. Independent and strong, you will not keep me down. You can't break me. I'm a girl on fire. I'm not a victim. A girl on fire. I'll stand my ground. Girl on fire. I've made a choice. I stand proud. I'm a girl on fire. Countless hours on the range, I am responsibly armed. I am your equal. I've empowered myself. I have practiced and trained. Fear won't control me. With my sisters in arms, we will make ourselves heard. We'll stand together. I'm a girl on fire.